Apple announces the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6 Plus to surprise us all. Along with this, Apple finally takes a stab at mobile payments with Apple Pay. And believe it or not, Apple also announces its Apple Watch. I'm Jaime Rivera, and we will try to make this episode not fully about Apple today. This is Pocketnow Daily. Today is full of official news, both good and bad, as AT&T has just announced that they will be carrying the Moto 360, which is great. The only problem is that even though they'll price the Moto 360 at the same prices as other carriers and even the same Motorola, they haven't provided a date. The only thing we know is that Verizon is probably carrying it on November 11th. But even more interesting, we've got some interesting data from the Moto 360 that reveals that even though they tout a 320 milliamp hour battery, it seems to be only a 300 milliamp hour battery after a teardown, which means that that is the main reason why the battery life is so terrible. And if you're wondering exactly what the name of Android L would be, there is this Chrome bug that pretty much revealed that it's going to be dubbed Android LMP. And LMP can stand for lemon meringue pie or meringue pie or whatever you're going to call that thing. I cannot believe that Google actually plans to continue its pastry thing and choose the lamest name in history, where you could probably just call it Android L or at least call it Lollipop. But anyways, reports are there. Obviously, these are just rumors, and it could be that Google changes its mind at the end. Now let's flip the page over to Apple, but let's talk about the least important things until Apple can prove otherwise. They have just announced Apple Pay, which is their new mobile payment system, and it does work with the new iPhone 6 that we'll talk about and with the new Apple Watch that we'll talk about through NFC in the same fashion that it works with Android. The only difference is that Apple has approached it from the other side. They've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and American Express, and with a ton of banks in addition to supermarkets, retailers, restaurants, and just about everybody in a way to have the system working by October, meaning if you buy any of the Apple products that support it, you will be able to use your mobile payment system through Touch ID. And there is this new secure feature in the Apple products that you will choose to buy that will not allow Apple to keep your information, which is really interesting. Now, let's see if it works, as obviously nobody else has figured it out. Up next, let's talk about the Apple Watch, not iWatch, Apple Watch, and it's actually in 3 different features. We've got the Apple Watch, which is made of stainless steel. We've got the Apple Watch Sport Edition, which is made of aluminum, and then we've got the Apple Watch Edition. Yeah, I know, weird name, but that's made out of 18 karat gold. And we've got different straps. We've got the most smart way to replace the straps with just a simple button. You can replace them, get the sport ones, get the metallic ones, get the stainless steel ones. You can choose whatever you want. But even more interesting is the software. There is a new user interface that works a lot with the button dial, in addition to having a touchscreen that's made out of sapphire and other interesting specifications that we've got here. We've got a lot of sensors that are working with this Apple Watch, and the only problem with it is that it won't be launched until early 2015. So yeah, it brings a lot of the health kit features from the iPhone 6 and iOS 8 and the iPhone 5S and other devices that support it, but the problem is that you won't be able to use it until early 2015 when there is a date for launch. It starts at $350, which is not bad, but obviously there is an Apple Watch that'll cost thousands of dollars. That would be the Apple Watch Edition. So stay tuned as we get more information whenever Apple plans to reveal this. And finally, for the hot news of the day, Apple unwraps the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus, both devices available for pre-order on September 12th and ready to launch on September 19th, no restraints mentioned. You get the same color options, space gray, gold, and silver, and these are pretty much the same phone, only one is bigger than the other. The only differences are in the display, where you get close to 720p resolution on the iPhone 6 and 1080p resolution on the iPhone 6 Plus. But then again, everything else is the same. You get the same cameras, the same A8 chip, the same M8 co-processor. You get the same RAM storage options, which are 16 gigs, 64 gigs, and 128 gigs, where you pay $200 for the 16 gig, $300 for the 64 gig, and $400 for the 2-year contract for the 128 gig, and then just add $100 if you want the bigger iPhone. But again, the specifications are pretty much the same, and these phones actually look hot. They're thinner than the iPhone 5S, though obviously bigger, and there are some new iOS tweaks here and there in order to make use of the new screen real estate, which is great. But there is so much detail on these phones that I would rather send you to the link in the description where Steven covers everything. So that leads me to the question of the day. What are you getting? Are you getting the iPhone 6 or the iPhone 6 Plus? Because in my case, honestly, I love the fact that the iPhone 6 Plus has better battery life all the way, but I think I'll stick to the iPhone 6, the basics 4.7-inch model, because carrying two phablets will be enough. But leave us a comment down below and let us know what your preference is. Friends, you know the drill. If you want to get the news earlier before this video is filmed, make sure you follow us on Pocketnow.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. You can also follow me on Twitter, Jaime_Rivera. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like what you saw. I am Jaime Rivera. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.